Welcome to my channel, Rise Up with Steve. Please hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends.
Let me tell you something about men that most people don't explain clearly. A man doesn't fall in love the way a woman does. A woman can fall in love emotionally first, but a man falls in love when he decides. And when that decision happens, everything about him changes. Real love for a man begins when he sees you as peace, not pressure. When he can come to you after a long day and feel calm instead of criticized. When your presence feels like home, not a battlefield. A man in real love protects the peace you bring into his life because he knows peace is rare. This is when a man starts thinking about you even when you're not around. Not just missing your body, but missing your energy, your voice, your advice. He starts planning with you in mind. His future sentences change from I to we, and he doesn't even realize he's doing it. When a man truly loves you, he becomes consistent. Not perfect, but consistent. He shows up, he calls, he checks in, he doesn't disappear when things get hard, because love makes a man want to solve problems, not escape them. A man begins to feel real love for you when being with you feels like peace instead of pressure. Life already places heavy demands on a man: work, responsibility, expectations, and the constant need to prove himself. When he comes into your presence and his shoulders relax instead of tensing up, that is where love quietly starts to grow. Peace does not mean silence or agreement on everything. It means he feels emotionally safe with you. He can speak without fear of being attacked, misunderstood, or made to feel small. He knows he can be himself, imperfect and unfinished, and still be accepted. When a man feels peace with a woman, he does not feel the need to perform or pretend. He doesn't have to impress you every moment or protect his ego. He feels free to laugh, to think out loud, to admit when he's wrong, and even to say when he's tired. That emotional safety is rare, and men recognize its value deeply, even if they don't always have the words to explain it. Peace makes him want to stay, not because he is trapped, but because he chooses to. Stress pushes a man away, but peace pulls him closer. If every conversation feels like an interrogation, every mistake becomes a fight, and every disagreement turns into emotional chaos, a man slowly begins to shut down. Even if he cares, the constant tension drains him. But when you know how to communicate without humiliation, express your needs without aggression, and correct without disrespect, he feels understood rather than judged. That understanding creates a powerful emotional bond. A peaceful woman does not mean a silent woman. It means a woman who knows how to manage her emotions without letting them control the relationship. She knows when to speak and when to pause. She knows how to disagree without destroying connection. This kind of emotional maturity makes a man feel secure because he knows conflicts won't threaten the relationship every time they appear. He feels confident that problems can be solved instead of exploding. When a man feels peace with you, he starts to associate relief with your presence. Your voice calms his mind. Your messages feel like comfort instead of obligation. He looks forward to seeing you because he knows he can rest emotionally. That's when he begins to open up, sharing thoughts and fears he keeps hidden from the world. Men don't open up where they feel attacked. They open up where they feel safe. This peace also affects how he treats you. He becomes gentler with your feelings because he doesn't want to disrupt what you bring into his life. He listens more carefully, not because he's afraid, but because he values harmony. He wants to protect the connection, so he becomes more patient and intentional with his actions. Peace inspires responsibility in a man more than pressure ever could. A man in love guards his peace, and when that peace comes from you, he guards you too. He will choose you over chaos, loyalty over drama, and stability over excitement that leads nowhere. This is when love becomes real, when he doesn't just want you, but needs the peace you bring into his life. A man begins to feel real love when consistency becomes natural for him, not forced. At first, attraction is emotional and physical, but love shows itself in patterns. When a man truly cares, he doesn't show up only when it's convenient or when he feels lonely. He shows up because you matter. His calls are not random, his messages are not excuses, and his presence is not temporary. He may not be perfect, but his effort becomes steady, and that steadiness is one of the clearest signs of real love. Consistency means you don't have to guess where you stand with him. You are not left wondering why he disappears for days or why his energy changes without explanation. A man in real love understands that uncertainty creates insecurity, and he does not want to make you feel unsafe emotionally. Even when he is busy or stressed, he communicates. He may say he's tired, overwhelmed, or dealing with pressure, but he doesn't leave you in silence. That communication is not about control, it's about respect. When a man becomes consistent, he starts aligning his words with his actions. He doesn't promise what he can't deliver just to keep you around. Instead, he does what he says he will do, even in small ways. If he says he will call, he calls. If he says he will see you, he makes the effort. These small actions build trust, and trust deepens emotional connection. Love grows strongest where trust is stable. Consistency also shows an emotional behavior. A man who loves you doesn't become cold every time there is a disagreement. He doesn't punish you with silence or affection withdrawal. He understands that conflict is part of connection, and running away from it only creates distance. Instead of disappearing, he stays engaged. He may need time to process, but he comes back to the conversation because you are important enough to resolve things with. Real love makes a man dependable. He starts to feel responsible for how his actions affect you. He notices when you're quiet, when your energy shifts, and when something feels off. He doesn't ignore it. Even if he doesn't fully understand your emotions, he tries to be present for them. That effort matters more than perfect understanding. Consistency is also about emotional availability. A man in love does not keep you at a distance while enjoying the benefits of your presence. He lets you see him fully, including his vulnerabilities. He stops acting mysterious or unpredictable because he no longer needs to keep control through confusion. Love removes the desire to play games. Over time, consistency becomes his way of saying, "You can rely on me." And when a man reaches that point, he is emotionally invested. He is no longer testing the connection. He is building it. That is when his love moves from interest to commitment, from attraction to responsibility, and from temporary feelings to something real and lasting. A man begins to feel real love when he starts including you in his future plans. At first, a man might enjoy the present moment, spending time with you casually without thinking much beyond today. But love becomes real when he starts seeing you as part of what's ahead. He starts imagining trips, celebrations, holidays, and even the small, everyday routines with you in mind. Your presence begins to influence his decisions, not as an obligation, but as a natural consideration because he values your life alongside his own. When a man includes you in his future, it means he has started to see you as a partner, not just a companion. He begins talking about dreams, goals, and plans that involve what? Instead of only I. It could be something as simple as planning a weekend activity or as serious as considering a career move, a home, or financial decisions where your opinion matters. Including you in these decisions is a reflection of respect and acknowledgement that your perspective and presence are important to him. This is one of the clearest signs that he is not just infatuated, but genuinely in love. This inclusion is also emotional. A man who loves you begins to visualize a life with you when making long-term decisions. He considers your happiness, safety, and comfort because your well-being becomes a priority. If he's thinking about buying a car, he imagines you riding in it. If he's planning a move or a career change, he thinks about how it will affect you. These considerations are subconscious at first, but over time, they become conscious decisions that show he is fully invested in a shared future. When a man starts including you in his future plans, he also begins to make sacrifices. Real love motivates a man to compromise, not out of obligation, but because he wants to build a life that includes you. He might adjust his schedule, change his habits, or make efforts he wouldn't have considered before, all because he sees you as a vital part of what's coming. Love encourages him to think beyond temporary convenience and consider long-term happiness for both of you. This shift from self-centered decision-making to inclusive planning is a powerful marker of true affection. Inclusion also means he communicates about the future with you. He doesn't leave you guessing or assume your preferences automatically. He asks for your opinion, seeks your advice, and makes you part of the conversation because your input matters. Your dreams start to become intertwined with his. He listens actively to understand your aspirations and finds ways to align them with his own. When a man genuinely loves you, he envisions not only a future together, but also how to support and uplift you along the way. Furthermore, this sense of inclusion brings security. You feel wanted, needed, and appreciated because he is making intentional efforts to ensure you are part of what lies ahead. He doesn't just talk about the future vaguely, he plans for it with you in mind. This is not about rushing or forcing commitment. It is about showing through actions that you are central to his life. It reassures you that he is serious, invested, and emotionally mature. When a man includes you in his future, it reflects a deeper level of love than mere attraction or infatuation. It shows that he values your presence, trusts you, and sees your life and goals as integral to his own. This is when love moves from temporary desire to meaningful commitment. His thoughts, actions, and decisions all begin to consistently reflect that you are not just part of today, but a vital part of tomorrow. A man begins to feel real love when he becomes protective, not in a controlling way, but in a way that shows he truly values you. Protection in this sense is about care, respect, and concern for your well-being. A man in love doesn't feel threatened by your independence or strength. Instead, he feels a deep desire to support and safeguard you emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. This protective instinct comes from a place of love, not ownership. It is about ensuring that the person he cares about is safe, respected, and treated with dignity in every situation. When a man loves you, he notices the people and situations that may harm or upset you. He doesn't ignore what affects your peace of mind. If someone disrespects you, he feels it deeply, not as a matter of ego, but because your feelings matter to him. He doesn't overreact or lash out unnecessarily, but he becomes vigilant in ensuring that no one takes advantage of your kindness or mistreats you. A man in real love understands that protecting you is part of valuing the relationship and your happiness. This protective behavior also extends to your emotional state. He pays attention when you seem stressed, anxious, or hurt, and he responds with care rather than judgment. He listens, reassures, and supports you in ways that make you feel seen and understood. He doesn't dismiss your emotions as insignificant. Instead, he takes them seriously because your well-being affects him as well. When a man loves you, he doesn't want to add to your burdens. He wants to share them and help you carry them. A man in love also protects your reputation and your dignity. He speaks well of you in public and private, and he avoids actions or words that could embarrass or hurt you. He respects your boundaries and doesn't allow anyone, including himself, to compromise your comfort or self-respect. When he stands by you, it's not to control you, but to ensure that the world sees the value he sees in you. This shows that his love is not superficial. It is rooted in respect and admiration for who you are. Protection can also mean anticipating your needs before you express them. He notices when you need encouragement, support, or space, and he acts in ways that make your life easier or more comfortable. Real love is proactive rather than reactive. He doesn't wait for crisis to care. He consistently looks out for you and ensures that you feel safe and valued. This vigilance is a form of devotion, showing that your presence matters deeply to him. Another key aspect of protection is reliability. A man who truly loves you makes himself available when it matters most. He doesn't vanish when challenges arise or when his attention is needed. Instead, he steps up, not because he feels obligated, but because he wants to be a source of strength and stability in your life. Love inspires responsibility, and protection is one of the most tangible ways he demonstrates that responsibility. Ultimately, a man's protective nature reflects his deep emotional investment in you. It is an unspoken way of saying, "You matter to me. I care about you, your feeling, and your life." When he becomes protective in these ways, it shows that his love is serious, mature, and genuine. This is when his actions speak louder than words, proving that his heart is fully engaged and committed. A man begins to feel real love when he stops playing games and fears losing you more than he fears being alone. At first, men can sometimes test boundaries, keep options open, or act distant to gauge your interest or maintain a sense of control. This behavior is not necessarily malicious. It often comes from insecurity or a desire to protect themselves. But it changes when love becomes genuine. When a man truly loves you, he no longer wants to gamble with the relationship. He realizes that what he has with you is rare and valuable, and he understands that risking it for temporary attention or ego validation is foolish. This fear of losing you is not about possessiveness. It's about recognition of your worth. He starts appreciating the time, effort, and energy you invest in the relationship. He notices the small gestures you make, the sacrifices you endure, and the emotional support you give, and he no longer takes them for granted. Love shifts his focus from what he can get to what he can protect and nurture. He begins to see you as irreplaceable, someone whose absence would leave a void that no other person could fill. When a man reaches this point, his behavior becomes more intentional. He stops being inconsistent or unpredictable in his actions. The moments when he might have ignored your calls or disappeared without explanation become rare, because he no longer wants to risk losing the trust and closeness you share. Every decision, every conversation, and every interaction begins to reflect a deep-seated commitment to keeping the relationship strong. He understands that love is demonstrated not only through words, but through consistent, caring actions. A man in real love also becomes more honest and open because he values transparency over playing games. He understands that deceit, manipulation, or unnecessary secrecy can create doubt and distance. Instead of testing you, he communicates clearly about his intentions, feelings, and future plans. This honesty strengthens trust and reassures you that you are valued for who you are. His fear of losing you encourages him to act with integrity, showing that love motivates responsibility rather than control. The fear of losing you also influences his priorities. He begins to organize his life around what matters most, ensuring that the relationship receives attention and care. He may adjust his schedule to spend quality time with you, make an effort to resolve conflicts calmly, and consistently show that you are a priority. This change is subtle at first, but becomes noticeable over time. It signals that he has moved beyond superficial attraction to a deep, enduring emotional investment. When a man loves you this way, he stops chasing validation outside of the relationship. He no longer seeks attention from others to boost his ego because he realizes that your love and presence are what truly matter. He begins to demonstrate loyalty not as a rule, but as a reflection of the depth of his feelings. Your happiness, comfort, and security become central to his decisions and actions, and he actively works to ensure that you feel cherished and respected. This phase of love is crucial because it shows a man's emotional maturity. He understands that relationships require effort, commitment, and consistency, and he embraces these responsibilities because he values you more than his own pride or temporary distractions. The fear of losing you motivates him to love fully, act responsibly, and prioritize the relationship in ways that go beyond surface-level attraction. When a man reaches this point, it is clear that his love is real, deliberate, and enduring. A man begins to feel real love when he invests in you emotionally, not just physically. Many men can be drawn to attraction or physical connection initially, but genuine love is far deeper than appearances or momentary desire. Emotional investment is about caring for your inner world, your thoughts, your dreams, and your well-being. It means he is interested in understanding who you are, what motivates you, and what challenges you face. When a man starts paying attention to your feelings, your fears, and your aspirations, it shows that he values you as a whole person, and not just for temporary companionship. Emotional investment is seen in the way he listens. A man in love doesn't just hear your words. He listens to understand the meaning behind them. He notices when something is bothering you, even if you haven't said it directly. He asks questions to clarify your feelings and tries to respond in ways that make you feel supported. This level of attentiveness shows that he cares about your emotional health and wants to be a safe space where you can be yourself without judgment. A man who invests emotionally also shows empathy. He doesn't dismiss your struggles or tell you to get over it. Instead, he validates your feelings and acknowledges your experiences. He might offer advice when appropriate, but more importantly, he offers comfort and understanding. This emotional connection strengthens the bond between you because it makes you feel valued and recognized. You begin to sense that his love is not superficial. It is rooted in genuine concern and care for your well-being. When a man loves you emotionally, he becomes present. He doesn't just exist in your life when convenient. He participates actively in your experiences. He remembers important events, celebrates your achievements, and provides encouragement when you face challenges. Emotional investment means he takes time to be with you, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. He engages with you in meaningful conversations, shares his thoughts openly, and encourages you to do the same. This deep engagement creates intimacy and trust, which are essential pillars of real love. A man's emotional investment also shows in how he supports your growth. He doesn't feel threatened by your ambitions or accomplishments. Instead, he wants to see you succeed and is willing to help you reach your goals. Whether it's offering advice, cheering you on, or simply listening as you talk through your plans, his support demonstrates that he is committed to your happiness and personal development. Love motivates him to invest energy and attention in ways that uplift you and make you feel cherished. Another way emotional investment manifests is through patience and understanding. A man in love recognizes that relationships are not always smooth. He tolerates your moods, forgives mistakes, and works through misunderstandings instead of walking away. Emotional investment requires effort, and he is willing to put in that effort because the relationship matters more than temporary frustrations. He does not shy away from challenges. He faces them with you because he values the connection you share. Ultimately, emotional investment is what distinguishes real love from temporary attraction. A man who invests in your emotions demonstrates a desire to build a lasting bond, not just a fleeting relationship. He prioritizes your happiness, cares for your feelings, and actively works to create a supportive, nurturing connection. When a man shows this level of emotional commitment, it becomes clear that his love is sincere, deep, and enduring. This is the kind of love that transforms a relationship into a partnership where both people feel valued, respected, and fully seen.